who's taking advantage of people's fears and anxieties about the future, portraying himself as some sort of strong guy. He's not a strong guy. He's never, he's never faced real adversity before. He's a guy that portrays himself as some sort of great businessman. He's had colossal business failures, and he's built much of his empire by taking advantage of people that can't stand up to him. So we're going to unmask him, because the conservative movement is not going to. We're going to work every day to make sure the conservative movement does not fall into the hands of someone whose policy positions are indistinguishable from Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders.
Why the change in strategy, Senator? Why is it totally different?
Donald Trump's insults before this morning's stand-up routine?
Study his insults? No, I'm not sure about study his insults. I would just say to you that, again, he portrays himself as something he's not. And we look forward to unmasking him, because what's at stake now is important. He's the front runner. According to the polls and the elections, he could become the nominee, and we're not going to let that happen. There is no way we're going to allow the party of Reagan or the conservative movement to be taken over by a con man.
Will you still support him if he's the nominee?
What's that?
Will you still support him if
he's not going to be the nominee? The Republican Party would be split apart if he became the nominee, because we cannot allow the party of Reagan to be taken over by a con man.
You Senator, really relish 20 and 30-somethings out there. Is that your key group that you're trying to reach out to? And do you think that's enough to get you where you need to be?
Well, obviously it's an important group, because the election's so much about them. I mean, what we're debating here is, what is America going to be like when they start their businesses or their families, or perhaps are in the middle of trying to do that now. So they have as much at stake in this election, if not more so, than any other group in this country. So that's one of the things we're excited about. The other things I say is, I won't just unify the Republican Party, I'll grow it. And part of it will be to take our message to people that perhaps in the past have not voted for Republicans.
Are you concerned about appearing not presidential, Senator, with this change in strategy? Are you concerned about not appearing presidential by...
As compared to Donald Trump, no, I'm not concerned about not looking presidential. I think being presidential, much as anything else, means the ability to answer serious questions about important topics. And Donald again proved last night he has no plan for health care, had no idea on how to balance the budget. I wish Wolf Blitzer and the moderators would have pressed him more on that. And everyone, for that matter. Guy doesn't know what the nuclear triad is, has no idea that South Korea contributes significantly to the defense agreement that we have with him. And he wants to be in charge of the nuclear arsenal of the United States and have the power to send young men and women off to war. So we're going to unmask him for the con man that he is.
Is there enough time and money left before March 1st to slow or stop Donald Trump with this tech?
Look, he's the front runner. There's no doubt about it. That's why there's a sense of urgency about it, because the Republican Party and the conservative movement could fall into the hands of someone who basically has conned a significant number of Americans into believing he's something that he's not. And this is important. This is the party of Reagan. It was a party built on optimism and limited government. And last night, you had the front runner in the Republican debate defending Planned Parenthood. You had the front runner in the Republican debate saying he's not going to take sides between Israel and the Palestinians. That would be a stunning shift for this party, and quite frankly would make us indistinguishable from the Democrats.
Are you going to do this every day? Are you going to do this every day against Trump, Senator? Are you going to do this every day against Donald Trump?
We're going to do it often.
Senator, your campaign is guaranteed that you will
win Florida.
You're guaranteeing that you will.
We will win Florida.
What happens if you don't?
We'll win Florida.
Are you comfortable with the phrase anti-Trump as the anti-Trump candidate? Rubio is the anti-Trump.
Well, he's the front runner, and I think the only way he's going to be stopped is if voters coalesce around someone to stop him. A significant majority of Republicans don't want Donald Trump. Right now, they're all divided up among all these other people that are running. I think it's time to coalesce around someone that can beat him and stop him, but also around someone that can unite the party and grow it. And that's the argument I'm making, that's me.
Senator, which
severely last night and this morning. Is that the direction that we can see in the coming weeks?
Guys, Donald Trump is the front runner. He's now won the last 3 states. He leads in every poll, as he likes to remind us every day. And so the time for action is now. I mean, again, it goes back to what I said. If you sense a sense of urgency, it's not just about winning or losing. It's about the idea that the party of Reagan and the conservative movement can fall into the hands of someone who's a con man, who's pulling the ultimate con job on the American public. This is a guy who claims to stand for the working class, when in fact his entire business career he's been sticking it to working class Americans. This is a guy who claims he's the strongest anti-immigration person in the race, and yet he uses illegal immigrants to build Trump Towers and has imported foreign workers to take away jobs from Americans in my own home state. This is a guy who portrays himself as a tough guy. He's not a tough guy. This is a guy who inherited $200 million, and had it not been for that, he'd be selling watches in Times Square. So my point to you is that we're not going to let someone like that take over the conservative movement. After everything that this party has gone through and this country has gone through, the last thing we need is a con man as president.
So Senator, which super Tuesday states do you think that you can win?
I'm sorry, yeah, because I got to get out.
Cities specifically to your state, top time for us here in Oklahoma. Jobs are coming. What is your plan of attack with both of those issues? Why should Oklahomans vote for you?
Well, the way to grow our economy is to make this country the easiest and best place in the world to start a new business or grow an existing one. Right now, we are not that because we have the highest combined corporate tax rate in the world. I have a plan to lower that, not only lower the tax rate, but allow businesses to immediately expense their investment. We need to roll back and cap the growth of regulations. I have a plan to do that through our regulatory budget. We need to deal with Social Security and Medicare so we can save those programs and bring our debt under control. We've outlined a plan to do that. We need to fully utilize our energy resources, which is critically important to Oklahoma, but also to manufacturing all across this country. We've outlined a plan to do that, and we need to repeal and replace Obamacare. And that involves a lot more than Donald Trump's plan to get rid of the lines around the states. I mean, we have a complex but important plan to help all Americans have access to quality health care in a way that allows them to control their choices, not the government.
Why do you think this is
Exactly how will we move forward?